Chapter 51 Stinky Smelly Mud. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The owner of the water gym was Han Jiang, the Water King, and also the leader of the Southeast Military Region. When Jiang Li arrived at the official competition venue, he and over 100 other players were drawing lots to be divided into 8 groups, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Each group had a dozen or so players competing, and only the top 2 from each group would advance to the final 16. The organizers were generous. Just participating in the official competition guaranteed a high-quality evolution stone with various attributes like water, fire, thunder, or moon. Jiang Li, Lu Shihong. Would the players whose names were called please report to the competition area immediately? Jiang Li drew his lot and ended up in Group A. The intense group stage battles were starting right away, announced by the staff. Jiang Li and Lu Shihong headed to the arena. Jiang Li looked at his opponent. Lu Shihong was a young man with a bit of stubble. When Lu Shihong saw Jiang Li's youthful face, he sneered. "Well, look who it is, a lucky kid. Jiang Li, right? You got lucky, dodging the strong players until now. But your luck ends here. Why don't you just give up now? Things could get ugly, and your elf might end up seriously hurt, you know." Lu Shihong spoke with contempt, oozing confidence. He had been directly recommended for the official competition. His elf was already at peak strength for its current level, practically ready to evolve. At 25, Lu Shihong was a college graduate. He only had 2 contracted elves, one of whom was already an elite-level fighter. The elf on the verge of breaking through to the elite level was being intentionally held back. He wanted to win the Elf Cup. The championship rewards were massive. Not only could he pick a better elf as his 3rd contracted partner, but he'd also score resources worth $500 million. This was Lu Shihong's goal. At 25, this was his last chance to compete in the Elf Cup. The Elf Cup was geared toward younger trainers, typically 16 to 20 years old. As a 25-year-old, he was determined to compete, despite the ridicule. If he wanted a fast track to success, he needed a top-tier elf. Seeing the relatively inexperienced Jiang Li made Lu Shihong envious. He envied the younger trainer's strength and opportunity to compete at such a young age. Lu Shihong regretted wasting his prime years. He had focused on partying instead of training his elf in college. While his peers built their skills, he was busy chasing girls. Jiang Li just rolled his eyes at Lu Shihong's pre-match trash talk. "Huh, old man. Enjoy talking big now, you'll be crying later. You." Lu Shihong was furious at being called old man. The referee cut off their trash talk and announced the start of the match. "Time to decide this. Come on out, Charizard. Show him what's what, Mook." Lu Shihong's elf was a Mook. Some of the spectators immediately pinched their noses. Jiang Li pulled a nose plug from his backpack, a souvenir from a shopping trip with Ji Ling near Purple Mountain Forest. "Roar!" Charizard caught a whiff of Mook's stench and spat fire in disgust. Jiang Li used his analysis skill on Mook, eager to assess its strength. Species, Mook. Gender, male. Strength, 30, peak normal. Type, poison. Ability, stench. Talent, professional. Moves, poison gas, mud slap, mud sport, mud shot, poison sting, sludge bomb, sludge wave, gunk shot, melt, acid spray, confuse ray. Mook's stench ability was definitely living up to its name. The smell was overpowering, even with the nose plug. Seeing Jiang Li's Charizard, Lu Shihong stopped sneering. A rare creature like Charizard only evolves at normal or high levels. Jiang Li was no pushover. "Mook, use Mud Slap." Lu Shihong launched the first attack, ordering Mook to use Mud Slap. Mook shook, splattering filth towards Charizard. This slime was its essence, loaded with poison. "Charizard, flamethrower." Hearing Jiang Li's command, Charizard unleashed a huge fireball. It couldn't stand the thought of that slime touching its body. The flamethrower engulfed the filth in flames. "Mook, sludge bomb." Seeing the attack fail, Lu Shihong had Mook use sludge bomb, an incredibly foul attack. Mook concentrated the poison in its slime. Its body shimmered with rainbow colors, like a toxic disco ball. Mook fired the slime like a cannon, spraying Charizard with venomous sludge. The sludge exploded in midair, and the overwhelming stench made spectators curse. Chapter 52 Immortal Technique The Power of Flame Fist. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Charizard eyed the disgusting sludge. The stench alone was enough to turn his stomach. He dodged globs of filth as he soared through the air. Zhongli watched Charizard's reaction with a sigh. A fighting Pokémon shouldn't be intimidated by a little stink. He thought to himself. I've spoiled him. Gotta fix that. Star. Charizard, Flare Blitz. Roar. At Zhongli's command, Charizard's first instinct was to incinerate the muck. He channeled his fiery energy, radiating intense heat. The flames burned away every trace of the sludge. Furious from the earlier assault, Charizard charged at the smelly mud Pokémon like a blazing comet. Ha! Lu Shihong chuckled, watching Charizard's attack run. Grubbin, strange beam. Grubbin adjusted its aim and fired a bizarre beam at the flame-armored Charizard. The beam was too fast to dodge. It struck Charizard head-on. The strange beam scrambled Charizard's senses, disorienting him. The charging Charizard veered off course. He crashed into the arena floor with a massive thud, leaving a crater in the gravel. The impact wasn't severe, but it left Charizard dazed and seeing stars. Now's our chance, Grubbin. Lu Shihong yelled. Acidic burst. Grubbin seized the opportunity, concentrating its toxic gas energy in its belly. It opened its foul mouth and spewed a massive ball of acid at Charizard. The ball exploded into corrosive acid rain, instantly pitting the ground beneath it. Enough playing around, Charizard. Time for the secret move, Flame Fist. Truth was, Charizard hadn't been fighting at full strength. If he'd been using his natural energy when the strange beam hit, he could have resisted the confusion. That energy acted like resistance. The higher it was, the less susceptible he was to status effects. Roar. As soon as Zhongli spoke, Charizard activated his natural energy. He instantly snapped out of his disoriented state. Fortified by that energy, he ignored the acid rain and closed in on Grubbin. Flame Fist was now the only option. Grubbin, guard. Seeing Charizard's attack, Lu Shihong ordered Grubbin to defend, but the protective shield shattered on impact. The energy-infused Flame Fist sent Grubbin flying. The fiery power instantly evaporated the venom that splattered from the Grubbin. Grubbin slammed into the rock formation on the side, unconscious. White steam rose from its body, now almost dried out and congealed. Lu Shihong stood in stunned silence. He hadn't expected his Grubbin to be taken out so quickly. The opponent he'd underestimated had just delivered a knockout blow. Lu Shihong's smugness evaporated, leaving him looking deflated. The other competitors watched with grim expressions. They all recognized Zhongli as a serious threat. Their strength wasn't far off from Lu Shihong's. One girl, in particular, with her black stockings, stared intently at Zhongli. Her face was all seriousness, as if she was already planning her strategy. The staff rushed to cool down the smelly mud Pokémon. Then they whisked him away to the nearest Pokémon Center for treatment. Charizard won several more matches in the days that followed. He crushed anyone he faced. Zhongli was quickly becoming known as the dark horse of the tournament. He was now the favorite to win. Today was the last match of the group stage. One more victory, and he'd be in the top 16. Zhongli arrived at the venue early. Since he was scheduled to battle first, he walked onto the battlefield after hearing the announcement. Zhongli studied his opponent, a gaudily dressed, blue-haired guy with a surly expression. Alright, let's go, Charizard. They say you're the dark horse, the flashy kid drawled, but I don't buy it. My Gyarados is gonna eat you for breakfast. The guy, whose name was Zheng had already been accepted to Demon City Elf University. Zhongli knew all about Zheng background. He had researched his opponents and watched videos of their matches. Zheng ace was a top-tier Gyarados, known for its ferocity. Trainers, take your positions. The match begins now. At the referee's signal, both sides sent out their Pokémon. Go, Charizard. Gyarados, rip them to shreds. The two Pokémon faced off, their imposing presence filling the arena. The Gyarados opened its massive jaws and tried to intimidate Charizard. He often used this tactic to instill fear in his opponents from the get-go. His opponents would be too fearful to fight back. Chapter 53 Immortal Magic Spraying Flame. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But Zhongli's Charizard was different. It wasn't scared by the Gyarados. After all, Charizard had been training with Zhongli constantly, he knew the ropes, having trained with Zhang's father's Arcanine before. No matter how majestic the Gyarados was, it couldn't compare to the power of gym-level Pokémon, and even with a near-elite aura, it wasn't anything Charizard hadn't seen. Zhongli used his scan ability on the Gyarados. Species, Gyarados, gender, male, strength, 30, peak of normal level, type, water/flying, ability, intimidate, potential, gym level, moves, hydro pump, hyper beam, dragon dance, dragon rush, dragon tail, aqua tail, rain dance, crunch, double edge, dark pulse. Zhongli could see the Gyarados was well trained. No wonder the guy was a prospective student at Magic City Elf University. Gyarados, rain dance. At the referee's signal, the battle began. Zheng immediately had his Gyarados use a weather move, to turn the arena into a downpour, which would benefit Gyarados, the Stormbringer. Gyarados began dancing in the sky, roaring, dark clouds quickly gathered, and lightning flashed, a torrential rain fell, soaking the arena. If the area hadn't been sealed off, the rain would have spread everywhere. Charizard was instantly drenched. Charizard, Dragon Dance. Zheng was puzzled. Why didn't Zhongli have his Charizard use Sunny Day? Rain was bad for Charizard, so Sunny Day would let it compete with Gyarados for weather control. Zheng was ready to counter, but Zhongli didn't make that move. What's this? Charizard can't use Sunny Day. Huh, what a dark horse. What a joke. Haha, your luck's run out. I'll show you what it feels like to lose. Zheng laughed and had Gyarados attack. Gyarados, Dragon Rush. Gyarados straightened itself in the air, roaring, it gathered all its energy into a dragon shield. Charizard, Dragon Rush. Zhongli ignored Zheng taunts. For Charizard, sun or rain didn't matter much. In the sun, its solar power boosted its attack. In the rain, its water absorb sped up healing. This Charizard had no weaknesses in most conditions. Charizard roared back, accepting the challenge. It had the power of a true dragon, because one of its parents was a dragon-type Pokémon. Charizard used Dragon Rush, crashing into Gyarados. The collision was fierce. Dragon-type moves were super effective against Dragon-type moves. The dragon energy of both Pokémon erupted on contact. The energy fought each other, but their power depended on the Pokémon themselves. Even if Gyarados was slightly stronger on paper, Zhongli's training had made Charizard tougher. The Dragon Rush collision proved it. Gyarados couldn't withstand the force and was knocked back. It crashed to the ground. Luckily, the arena was tough, or that blow would have cracked the ground. Gyarados, are you okay? Zheng was worried. He didn't expect Gyarados to be losing, especially in the rain. Charizard, finish it. Seeing Gyarados faltering, Zhongli sent Charizard to press the attack. He wanted to wrap this up and go home for a nap. He'd been staying up late watching movies, so he wasn't feeling his best. Gyarados, Hyper Beam. Zheng refused to give up, and had Gyarados try to rally. Gyarados gathered energy. A glowing ball grew in its mouth. Then Gyarados fired the ball, creating a gray-white wave of energy. The wave rushed toward Charizard. Charizard, Flare Blitz. Charizard gathered fire energy, combined with natural energy. It charged its attack, unleashing a blazing flame like a dragon, engulfing Gyarados. The attacks collided, creating a blinding light. Some onlookers had to close their eyes, and some even teared up. Gyarados' Hyper Beam was no match for Charizard's Flare Blitz. The Hyper Beam was pushed back, hitting Gyarados. No way. How is your Charizard so strong? Zheng couldn't believe that Flare Blitz overpowered Hyper Beam in the rain. They were supposed to be evenly matched, so why was Charizard so special? Even after the referee called the match, Zheng was still stunned until the staff nudged him off the field. Chapter 54 The Elf Egg in the Blind Box. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At the corner of the ring, a man in casual clothes watched the match. Nearby, a beautiful woman also watched the amazing battle. Her lips curled into a smile as she carefully studied Zhongli with her beautiful eyes. He nodded, clearly impressed by Zhongli. This woman, standing unobtrusively, would be instantly recognized by most viewers. Everyone in Magic City knew her name. The Pokémon Cup in Magic City was actually a talent scouting opportunity for the local water gym. the gym observed promising players, investing in them, and sometimes even inviting them to join as trainers, performing well, even if eliminated early from the official competition. Opened doors to better evolution stones. It was all about building relationships with these young talents. Making it to the official competition after the rigorous additions meant the trainers had potential. This time, they were keeping an eye on Jiangli and Zheng Er. Yes, Zheng Er was also a prospect. Despite his defeat, his strength was undeniable, having earned him a spot at Demon City Elf University, a prestigious institution in the Chinese Alliance. At just 18, he owned 2 contracted Pokémon, including a Gyarados with peak ordinary level strength. His strongest Pokémon was already at the mid-elite level, so Zheng Er remained on their radar. Jiangli, however, was a surprise. His family background check revealed that his father was only a peak professional level trainer, yet, at 16, Jiangli possessed a Charizard with high ordinary level strength. This sparked considerable interest. The water gym sent their deputy leader to observe Jiangli. She had been optimistic about him, and even facing Zheng Er, a championship favorite, she believed in Jiangli. And she'd been right. Jiangli won decisively. The deputy leader was pleased and planned to meet with Jiangli after the tournament to discuss his future. Meanwhile, Jiangli, after his quick victory, skipped the other matches and returned to his room for a nap. He woke up in the afternoon, rubbed his eyes, ordered room service, and then decided to check out Jinling Road pedestrian street. Famous throughout the eastern region, Jinling Road was known for selling everything Pokémon-related, from Pokeballs to high-quality energy cubes and evolution stones. You could even find Mega Stones. Resources for all types of Pokémon, powerful items. The street was a complete Pokémon industry hub. Wealthy young trainers often came here to purchase high-quality Pokémon. Jiangli took a taxi to Jinling Road pedestrian street. He was immediately struck by the crowds. Being a Saturday, it was packed like a market. Vendors hawked their wares, advertising rare paperback grass and high-quality ores. Of course, most of it was fake, intended to scam tourists. To find real quality, you had to visit the established shops. Jiangli wandered around, taking it all in. Suddenly, he saw a crowd gathered around something. He went to investigate and found people opening blind boxes. These gambling eggs contained Pokémon eggs in opaque boxes. Each blind box cost the same, and you couldn't tell what was inside. The quality of the Pokémon was unpredictable. You might get a Caterpie or a Weedle, but some people were willing to take the risk. Many of these eggs came from mixed species locations. Sometimes you could find high-quality Pokémon, even rare eggs from the Yuuzhan family. Once, someone even found a dragon Pokémon egg, a pseudo-legendary, no less. This drew crowds of people every year, hoping to get lucky and hatch something amazing. Of course, most people left disappointed, having wasted their money, but that didn't stop the starry-eyed hopefuls. This one. This has gotta be good. Jiangli watched as people made their choices. A bearded man chose a box, paid, and opened it. The machine next to him identified it as a Magikarp egg. The man looked disgusted. A Magikarp egg from a blind box was worthless. At best, the Magikarp would have novice-level talent. Even if he evolved it into a Gyarados, training it to ordinary level wouldn't be worth the effort. Reputable breeding houses and stores sold Pokémon at high prices because they were carefully selected and bred for optimal genes. Pokémon with good talent could easily cost over $1 million. Wild Magikarp eggs, on the other hand, were practically worthless. This man had paid 10,000 yuan for his blind box. He dejectedly handed the Magikarp egg to the recycling vendor, recouping only a small fraction of his money. Jiang Li's analytical eyes told him the man was a loser. Chapter 55, Fire-Breathing Camel's Elf Egg, Trouble is Coming. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This Magikarp egg is pretty average. You could probably get 10 grand for it if you sold it. If this dude wanted to drop a few thousand at a pro testing lab, he might break even, maybe even turn a small profit, but he was too pissed to bother testing this lousy Magikarp egg. Jiang Li stepped up to take a look around. Hey, wanna try your luck, kid? The shop owner purred. This was pure profit for him. He only paid a few $100 for each egg, but he could slap on some fancy packaging and sell them for thousands, even tens of thousands. Every sale was a win. Might as well fleece as many suckers as he could. Jiang Li looked young and naive, an easy mark. Playing the part, Jiang Li acted like a rookie, checking out the goods. The boxes blocked everyone else's view, but not Jiang Li's special sight. Magikarp. Weedle. Caterpie. Jiang Li scanned the eggs. Mostly duds, the potential was garbage. Anyone who bought these would be throwing their money away. Whoa. A camel egg. And it's got decent potential, elite level, 31 to 40. Camel eggs were rare in the eastern region, you could find some in the China Alliance's western region, but they were pricier here. Gotta have it, that he could flip this elite level camel egg for over 200 million. I'll take this box. Jiang Li grabbed the box and zapped over 10 grand with his phone. He opened the box, revealing a pure white egg with red markings. Onlookers started shouting, urging him to get it tested to see what was inside. Perfect timing. Jiang Li had planned to sell it anyway, so he headed straight for the testing machine. Camerupt. It's a camerupt. A fire-breathing camel egg. Sharp-eyed viewers immediately shouted. The shop owner clutched his chest. He felt a massive loss, and he had. This batch of eggs had supposedly been pre-tested. No good ones should have slipped through. Sure, some might get missed during the process, but missing this camerupt stung like hell. Hey kid, I'll give you 80. 80 mil for the fire-breathing camel egg, deal. An energetic old guy with a white beard stepped forward. Oh, Mr. Li. Not fair. I'll go 90. 90 mil. I'll match 90. I'll offer 100 million. After the old man named Li spoke, a few folks in suits and ties elbowed their way through the crowd and started bidding. They were gambling big. Rare Pokémon had been released, but their individual potential was still unknown. These guys were willing to pay up front, sight unseen. Buying them back and testing or reselling usually turned a profit. They were offering so much because even a mediocre camerupt was worth a pretty penny. You couldn't really lose. Not for sale. Hearing the prices, Jiang Li turned them all down flat. Oh, come on, kid. I'll toss in another 70. That's 150 million. How's that sound? Mr. Li got even more excited as the other bidders upped the ante. He really wanted that egg for his grandson's first Pokémon. I'll offer 100 million, and you'll only sell it to me. Just as Mr. Li bid 150 million, an arrogant voice cut through the air. He was offering 100 million, period. Jiang Li had no choice. Everyone turned to see a guy in a black leather jacket with messy hair. He looked like some kind of spoiled rich kid. It's Su Lin. It's Su Ninglin. Someone recognized him. Kid, I want that camerupt. Here's 100 mil, hand it over. Su Lin wasn't negotiating, he was strong-arming. He reeked of entitlement, a thug in disguise, and judging by his reputation, he had no intention of actually paying. He'd probably try to weasel the camerupt egg and leave Jiang Li empty-handed. Jiang Li knew all about this Su Lin. He was from the Su family, one of the big shots in Demon City. The Zus were old money, a veteran gym-level family. They had several gym-level trainers. Their patriarch was a gym-level trainer pushing his limits. Word was one of his Pokémon was on the cusp of becoming a quasi-kingdom class. He was a legend in Demon City. And this Su Lin was the family's black sheep, always getting into trouble. His reputation was garbage. Even when he made a deal, he often welched. He had pissed off a lot of people, but the Su family always bailed him out. No one could touch him, and now, Su Lin had his eyes on Jiang Li, looking to snatch the camerupt egg. As soon as Su Ninglin made his move, the other interested buyers clammed up. No one dared to say a word. So. What do you say, kid? Just hand it over. He gestured to the goon beside him to grab the egg. Jiang Li glared. Get the hell out of here. Su Lin's face darkened. The goon, eager to impress, lunged for the egg. Jiang Li kicked him into next week. Whoa, hold on, kid. You can't just go around assaulting people when they are offering you good money. Let's be reasonable. Give the camerupt egg to Master Su as an apology. Exactly. Old Man Li and the other bidders chimed in, siding with the bully. Even the blind box shop owner was trying to talk him into it. Chapter 56. Obtain the quasi-god elf baby dragon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. These guys are so shameless, trying to suck up to Su Lin just to get in his good graces, they're twisting right and wrong, they have zero respect for the law, the bystanders. They bolted the second they saw what was happening. Deep down, they knew Su Lin was a manipulative bully, but they were all scared of his family's influence, so they scattered like cockroaches. I said, get lost. Don't make me tell you twice, or you won't like what happens next. Zhongli wasn't holding back, he wasn't going to let them push him around. It's a good thing they're in the city, under the rule of law. If they were out in the sticks, Zhongli would have sicked his Pokémon on them already. Kid, you've got a death wish. You just wait. Su Lin spat out the threat. He knew he couldn't actually do anything in public, he wouldn't dare openly break the law like that. He'd probably try to get revenge on the down low, but Zhongli wasn't worried about that. Maybe he'd even get a system task out of it, score some rewards or something. Zhongli didn't go out of his way to mess with these rich punks, but if they came at him, he'd treat them like free experience points. Once Su Lin was gone, Zhongli kept browsing the shop. After the way the owner had treated him, he was determined to buy up everything valuable in the place. The owner of the egg shop scowled when he saw Zhongli was still around. Huh. Zhongli's eyes landed on a near-mythical Pokémon egg. He had to check it out, so he strolled over and activated his appraisal skill. Species, Bagon. Gender, male. Strength, level 0, unborn. Type, dragon. Ability, sheer force, hidden. Potential, king. Moves, Draco Meteor, outrage, dragon rush. This Bagon's potential was king tier. And it already knew 3 powerful dragon-type moves. Awesome. This thing was going to evolve into a Salamence. Salamence was a top-tier dragon-type Pokémon, in Zhongli's opinion. Even other pseudo-legendaries like Dragonite, with the same dragon/flying typing, couldn't compare. Because Salamence could mega-evolve. Zhongli rushed to find the owner, ready to buy that egg ASAP. He didn't want to give anyone time to change their mind. 50 million, the shop owner said. 50. Are you out of your mind? Zhongli shot back. What do you know? The eggs in my back room are top of the line. They're not like those cheapos out front. Take it or leave it, the shop owner said impatiently. Fine, here you go. Zhongli slapped down the cash and grabbed the egg. As Zhongli walked away, the owner chuckled to himself. Top-of-the-line egg, my foot. He bought those things from a breeder for a few $1,000 apiece. Now he was making bank, and he knew all about the egg in box #3. The scanner couldn't identify what was inside, plus, it hadn't hatched in weeks, so it was probably a dud, but he wasn't about to tell Zhongli that. Zhongli examined the egg as he left the shop. It had a light silver shell patterned with white clouds. It looked beautiful. He carefully held it and decided to wait until he got home to hatch it. He wasn't about to reveal his good fortune in public. But then, something unexpected happened. As soon as Zhongli touched it, the egg started to hatch. Crack, crack, the shell crumbled, and a cute, dinosaur-like dragon popped out. The Pokémon saw Zhongli and immediately reached up for a hug. Zhongli didn't hesitate. He scooped up the little dragon. The shop owner finally realized what was happening. A Bagon? Is that a Bagon? No way. How could that be a pseudo-legendary Bagon egg? That he couldn't believe he'd sold a Pokémon that valuable. Greed started to eat at him. This was the back room. There were no cameras or anything. If he claimed he hadn't sold the egg to Zhongli, he could have a pseudo-legendary Pokémon. A Bagon like that could easily sell for $1 billion or $2 billion, maybe more, if its potential was high enough. His eyes gleaming, he said shamelessly. Hey, give me back that egg. I'm not selling it. I'll give you your money back. Zhongli snapped. Are you kidding me? The deal's done. That Bagon's mine now. No one can change my mind. Zhongli didn't mince words. Damn you. Go. Arbok. Rip him apart. Knowing he couldn't argue his way out, the shop owner sent out his Pokémon, ready to steal by force. The owner's Pokémon was a vicious Arbok. Zhongli scanned it with his appraisal skill. Species, Arbok. Gender, male. Strength, 30, peak of normal stage. Type, poison. Ability, intimidate, potential, trained, moves, bite, ice fong, thunder fong, fire fong, poison sting, glare, acid, wrap, acid spray, giga drain. The Arbok was strong, but Zhongli wasn't afraid. Go, Charizard. Zhongli sent out his Charizard to battle the Arbok. A battle between those two could easily destroy the shop. Seeing his life's work about to be wrecked, the owner's rage boiled over. I'll kill you. Arbok, bite him to death. The owner ordered his Arbok to attack Zhongli directly. Chapter 57 Confusing Right and Wrong in the Interrogation Room. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Humph. Zhongli just scoffed. Charizard, hit him with that immortal flame fist. Ouch, this Ekans might be top tier for a regular Pokémon, but it's weak and doesn't have the juice compared to other Pokémon at the same level. Charizard barely had to tap into his natural energy, he channeled it into his flame fist and took down the Ekans with one shot. Charizard didn't finish it off, though. He'd have some explaining to do at the police station if he did. Damn it. You useless bum. The Ekans trainer yelled, furious at its poor showing. The crowd finally started to react, and some nosy onlookers started moving closer to see what the commotion was about. Who starts commanding Pokémon to fight in the middle of the city? That's a huge no-no. Just then, Su Lin, who had beef with Zhongli's family before, happened to stroll by. His eyes lit up when he spotted the rare dragon in Zhongli's arms. Seeing Su Lin, the owner of the blind box shop piped up. Mr. Su. That's the pseudo-legendary Pokémon, the baby dragon, that punk ripped off from me. Get it back, and I'll let you have it. The blind box store owner figured if he couldn't have it, Zhongli couldn't either. If Zhongli kept causing trouble, it'd hurt his business. Better to drag Su Lin into the mess. Easier to make a play when things are wild. Su Lin was waiting for this. Before, he didn't have an excuse to get involved. Now he was in the clear. He immediately put on a polite face. This kid's a troublemaker. Stealing other people's Pokémon like that. He's got no idea how the world works. I'm telling you, you better hand it over now. Or you're gonna regret it. Don't say I didn't warn you. Su Lin grinned, confident. He was determined to get his hands on that precious dragon. His grandfather was the old head of the Su family. The family needed a strong Pokémon to finally break through to the quasi-king level. Su Lin had dibs on this baby dragon. Nobody was going to stop him. Ha! Just say you want to rob me. Everyone else might be scared of you, but I'm not. Zhongli shot back. Ha ha ha, kid's got guts. He threw out 2 of his own contracted Pokémon, and the 2 bodyguards with him each sent out 2 more. Zhongli used his appraisal skill on the 6 Pokémon. They were all elite level, 31 to 40, powerhouses. Su Lin's Swampert, in particular, was mid-elite level. Tyranitar, you're up. Faced with being ganged up on, Zhongli had no choice but to send out his Tyranitar. He wanted to stall for time. Something had happened here. It was only a matter of time before the cops showed up. While Zhongli's Pokémon were keeping them busy, Su Lin signaled his bodyguards to rush Zhongli and grab the baby dragon directly. These bodyguards, thanks to their Pokémon contracts, were incredibly strong, plus, they had professional training. They weren't to be underestimated. Seeing the bodyguards charging, Zhongli didn't hesitate. He bolted into the crowd. He knew he couldn't win that fight, and he didn't want to reveal his Arcanine just yet. Wee-oo! 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 A piercing whistle rang out as a group of police officers in uniform ran over to restore order. Arcanines moved in, pinning down all the Pokémon on the scene. Zhongli told Charizard and Tyranitar not to resist. Then the police hauled everyone involved down to the station. In the interrogation room, Zhongli, Su Lin, and the blind box shop owner were all being grilled by the police. What's going on here? You're openly using Pokémon to battle in the middle of the city. Do you think the law doesn't apply to you? One of the veteran cops barked. Officer, I messed up. I shouldn't have used my Pokémon downtown, Zhongli said openly. The cop, seeing Zhongli's attitude, nodded approvingly. The blind box shop owner started his sob story. Officers. I didn't want this to happen. But this kid stole my Pokémon right out of my store. What did you expect me to do? Slow down. What Pokémon did he steal? A baby dragon. He stole a baby dragon. The blind box shop owner pointed at Zhongli. Check his Pokeballs. He took my rare dragon. Is that what happened? The old cop asked Zhongli. Hearing this, Zhongli released the baby dragon right there. The faces of the officers in the room turned serious. If what they heard was true, this was a big deal. A baby dragon was worth at least $1 million or $2 million. If this student really stole it, that it would have a huge impact on his future. Officers, I didn't steal his rare dragon. I bought this baby dragon from him through a blind box. But after I bought it, the blind box store owner regretted it and wanted me to give the baby dragon back. When I refused, he tried to attack me with his Pokémon. I had no choice but to defend myself with my own Pokémon. Zhongli gave his side of the story. The blind box shop owner freaked out. Officers, officers. Don't listen to this kid. I didn't sell it to him. He snatched it right out of my hands. You know, this rare dragon is worth $1 million or $2 million. You think I wouldn't be worried if it was snatched from me like that? And Mr. Su here had already ordered this rare dragon. We were planning to trade today, but this happened and the brat robbed me. What else could I do? Hearing the blind box shop owner bring him up, Su Lin quickly jumped in to back him up. He had made a deal with the blind box shop owner, but he'd hoped to get the baby dragon without paying a dime. Now that was impossible, since he was already involved. He figured he might as well go all in and provide a false alibi for the shop owner. Chapter 58 The truth is revealed. The sky net is vast, sparse but not missing. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, let's pin this on Zhongli and throw him under the bus first. I've been wanting to get back at Zhongli for a while now, especially after the disrespect he showed me. Plus, the blind box store owner hinted there weren't any cameras in the back room, so we can say whatever we want. Once Su Lin gives the store owner a bogus statement, we'll have some leverage, then we can figure out how to get the baby dragon from the store owner, right? And hey, the store owner wasn't exactly on the level either, so no hard feelings. With that settled, Su Lin piped up, officers. I can prove I ordered a baby dragon from this place. I came to pick it up today, but when I got here, Zhongli had already snatched my precious dragon. That's why I had my bodyguards get it back. So, officer, Zhongli is lying through his teeth. I'm from the Su family in Demon City, you gotta believe me. Su Lin dropped the family name, hoping it would carry some weight with the cops. Bang, star. The Su family. So what? The older cop who had been giving him the side-eye slammed his hand on the table. This ain't the Su family's private police force. He'd heard Su Lin's veiled threat and wasn't having any of it. Hearing this, some officers present were trying to figure out who's telling the truth by observing the faces of Zhongli, Su Lin, and others. They'd already confirmed there were no cameras in the back. Officers, I can prove they're lying. I won that dragon fair and square by opening a blind box. Zhongli's words got everyone's attention. The blind box shop owner paled. He was frantically racking his brain, wondering if he'd left any loose ends. He knew if he was caught, that whole the best defense is a good offense thing with the elves wouldn't work out so well. He was probably looking at serious jail time. Zhongli pulled out his phone and played the video of his transaction with the shop owner. Turns out, Zhongli had anticipated something like this and had a plan. He'd stuck a pinhole camera on his shirt button, so, everything, the baby dragon deal, the shop owner sicking the arbor monster on him, was all on tape. The shop owner bolted up and tried to grab Zhongli's phone, but an officer wrestled him back down. Zhongli just smirked. Even if he trashed the phone, it wouldn't matter. He'd already sent the video to his dad, and it was backed up in the cloud. Once the cop saw the video, the truth was out. The shop owner's excuses dried up, and his face went white. He looked completely drained, like he'd seen a ghost. He was probably picturing his future behind bars, and it wasn't pretty, but the cops weren't letting him off the hook. Bang, star. Wang Long, the old policeman asked, using the shop owner's name. Anything else you want to say? You pulled a bait and switch, and then you set your elves on him. You could have gotten someone killed. What were you thinking? Do you think the law doesn't apply to you? that the old cop, remembering the beatdown he'd gotten from Wang Long's elf, unleashed his fury. Wang Long just stared blankly, completely checked out. And you, Su Lin. You knowingly gave false testimony for Wang Long, thinking you're above the law because of your family? Take away the Su name, and what are you? You don't give a damn about the rules. The old cop lit into Su Lin too, but Su Lin just shrugged it off, confident his family would bail him out. After all, his dad was a big-shot gym leader, who in Demon City would dare mess with him? Oh no, you don't, you're not getting out on bail. Not happening. The old officer said and ordered them hauled off to their cells. After giving the old cop his statement, Jiangli was free to go. The video proved he'd acted in self-defense, so his family wouldn't face any legal issues. He left the station, figuring Wang Long was looking at a 10-year stretch at least. Attempted robbery, especially with something worth hundreds of millions, was no joke. If Jiangli had his baby dragon's talent tested by a professional, proving it was king level, Wang Long would probably get a few more years tacked on, but Jiangli wasn't about to advertise his wealth. His top-tier dragon was a secret, sure, high-quality, quasi-god elves were rare, but powerful families and alliances could still get their hands on them. However, a king-level talent like baby dragon was off the charts. Only elves with king-level power had such descendants, and they sure as hell wouldn't sell them to outsiders. They'd keep them in the family or give them to promising disciples. If word got out about his baby dragon's king-level potential, every schemer in the city would be. After it, his life would be a living hell, unless his dad revealed his quasi-king level strength. That was the only way. Plus, Su Lin, by giving false testimony and sicking his elves on Jiangli, was looking at a few years himself, assuming nothing unexpected happened. Chapter 59 Shameless Mother Su. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Jiangli was leaving, a police officer stopped him to ask about the situation. Su Lin, clearly spooked, asked the officer to see if Jiangli would consider private mediation. If Jiangli agreed to settle and sign a memorandum, Su Lin might get off with a lighter sentence, maybe even probation, but Jiangli flatly refused. Su Lin had been arrogant and slanderous towards him in front of the cops. If Jiangli hadn't been careful enough to use a pinhole camera, he'd never have cleared his name. Now Su Lin was regretting his actions, but it was too late for that. Jiangli wanted Su Lin to think about his actions behind bars. Meanwhile, in an office at the Shanghai Public Security Bureau, a square-jawed middle-aged man received a phone call. His expression turned grim as he listened. "Listen, Su Feng," the man said. "This is out of the question. Your son messed up, big time. There's no way I'm letting him off the hook. Wrong is wrong, and right is right. No one can change my mind. Threats, huh? You think I'm scared? I'm telling you right now, as the director of this public security bureau, I will not give your son special treatment. Don't even think about pulling strings with me." The director slammed down the phone. His secretary asked quickly who had called. Who else could it be? Su Lin's father, trying to plead for his son. These families think they're above the law, trying to get me to bend the rules. Not a chance. The director, looking indignant, continued to fume. Back at the Su residence, Su Lin's mother was questioning Su Feng. Well? What did Director Feng say? Is our son coming home? Su Lin's father glared at her. Coming home? He's staying put. That old fool Feng won't budge. Su Lin's mother was on the verge of tears. Then do something. My son is in jail. Think of what he's going through. He's just some nobody, a lowlife. She continued. So what if he lied and sicked his Pokémon on him? It's not a big deal. Why should my son be locked up? We always raid the surrounding areas, and there are always outsiders. You and the old man, as gym leaders, can't pull some strings. That it was clear from her words where Su Lin got his sense of entitlement. Even Su's father was taken aback. You're spoiling him rotten. Without your indulgence, Su Lin wouldn't be in this mess. Don't start blaming me now. You didn't care before. Are you helping our son? If you can't find someone to help, I will. Su's mother grabbed her phone and dialed a number. Back at the hotel, Jiangli was feeding baby dragon eggshells. The eggshells were incredibly nutritious and perfect for the newborn Pokémon's first meal. Baby dragon was still in its infancy stage, levels 1 to 10, after hatching, but would level up to the novice stage, levels 11 to 20, in a few days after digesting them. Jiangli was planning to let baby dragon have dimensional adventures when he reached the novice level. He had also received a call from his father, who said he handled the situation very well, especially the pinhole camera, which proved his innocence. Later, he received a call from Director Feng, who spoke to Jiangli privately. It turned out the director and Jiang's father were classmates at the police academy. Director Feng praised Jiangli for his bravery and resourcefulness and complained that Jiang's father could easily be promoted but preferred to stay at his current position. Director Feng knew that Jiang's father had gym leader level strength. With that, he could easily be the director of the Jinling City Public Security Bureau, but he didn't know that Jiangli helped Jiang's father's Hyluga break through to the quasi-king level. Director Feng would be shocked if he knew that, since quasi-king level combat power was high-level combat power in the alliance. As Jiangli was preparing to study his opponents for tomorrow's game, he received a strange phone call. He almost didn't answer, but curiosity got the better of him. "Is that you? You're the reason my son is in jail. You heartless monster. I'm sending you a settlement offer. You better sign it, got it? And that Pokémon? I'm not letting you bond with him. You're giving him to me as an apology to my son." That the woman launched into a tirade as soon as Jiangli answered. It had to be Su Lin's mother. Her shamelessness proved that Su Lin definitely took after his mother. Su Lin's mother was trying to use her family's influence to bully Jiangli into submission so she could get her son released. Chapter 60 Contracted Baby Dragon and the Top 16 competition begins. You are listening at novelfull.audio. How could Jiangli act like that? He clearly wasn't afraid of anything. He replied bluntly, "I'm going to do my own thing, get out of my way." Then he hung up. Su Lin's mother, hearing this, flew into a rage and smashed her phone, but there wasn't much she could do. She was just one woman. All she could manage were verbal threats over the phone. Plus, they were in the city, where the law held sway, not some jungle where only the strongest survived. The Su family could try pulling strings to exert pressure, or even take drastic measures against Jiangli. But that would break the rules and invite a devastating response from higher-ups. So, despite her power, Su's mother was hamstrung. When it came down to it, the family's survival outweighed any individual member. They'd sacrifice Su Lin to protect the family's future. Back with Jiangli, he was gently playing with the baby dragon, stroking its smooth forehead and murmuring, "So much happened today, and it's all because of you. Everyone wants you. Guess I should make a contract with you now, before things get even crazier." He held out his hand to baby dragon, asking if it wanted to be his partner. "Baobei." Baby dragon agreed instantly. Jiangli was the first thing it ever saw. He was family. The moment baby dragon agreed, a golden contract appeared, signifying their mutual desire. With the contract's power, Jiangli could feel the baby dragon's joy. He also received a power boost from baby dragon, though it was small since baby dragon was still weak. Jiangli now had 3 contracts. Unless he found something special, like Monkey King wine, he was maxed out for a trainer of his level, 21 to 30. But his Charizard was close to leveling up to the elite level. With that, he'd gain 3 more contract slots. The next morning, Jiangli casually arrived at the National Water System gym. Since his match was second, he could watch the first of the top 16 games. The arena was packed, the referees and staff were ready. The game was even being broadcast live on TV, complete with a host. The Magic City Elf Cup always had a live broadcast for the top 16, for all the viewers at home. The first to appear was a girl in black stockings and a JK uniform, who had previously seen Jiangli as her rival. Her opponent was a scruffy young guy who looked way older than his 23 years. This young man was also recommended to the official group competition. After going through the group matches, Jiangli realized that he and the JK girl were the only ones who made it to the top 16 from the initial auditions. All the other audition contestants had been eliminated. Now, they were up against those who'd been directly seeded into the group stage. That's why so many former audition contestants were there to cheer for the black-stocking JK girl. They were all rooting for a fellow underdog. The girl's elf was a level 29 Gardevoir of superpower and fairy type, at the peak of its strength. Her opponent had a level 30 dual-axe dragon. The double-axe battle dragon was a formidable dragon-type elf, but he was facing Gardevoir. A Gardevoir with fairy-type attributes meant that his dragon-type attacks wouldn't hurt at all. Fairy types were immune to dragon-type attacks. Fairy types also dealt double damage to dragon types, putting dragon-type elves at a disadvantage. The game started as expected. The girl ended the battle quickly, defeating the double-axe dragon with overwhelming strength. After a short break, it was Jiangli's turn. He walked to the competition stage and faced his opponent, a beautiful woman in revealing clothes. Her name was Lin Wu, a freshman at Jinling University, and her second contract elf was a level 30 water arrow turtle, one of the evolved water-type starters. The JK girl in black stockings watched Jiangli's game, taking notes. The deputy gym leader was also watching from the shadows. She knew about Jiangli's run-in with Su Lin. She'd even called the director of the Magic City Public Security Bureau to make sure the law was applied fairly. She hadn't realized that Jiangli had a quasi-god elf Shakiras. He'd never used that elf publicly before. If it hadn't been revealed yesterday, she would have been in the dark. And because of yesterday's events, she thought even more of Jiangli. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Tang Ying, and I'll be broadcasting today's second top 16 match.